Hey guys, how's everyone doing? Um, Give me a second. Uh, Hey, ¿qué onda? Voy a estar esculpiendo un Furby, es la idea del streaming de hoy. Denme nada más un minuto en lo que junto mi referencia. Hey, Soundtrack, how are you? Welcome. So I'm gonna be doing something I wanted to do for a long time, which is a creepy looking Furby. And I was really inspired because of um, the movie Mitchell versus the Machines, I think it's called, the one in Netflix, the new one. So yeah, that's the main reason why I'm gonna be sculpting a Furby tonight. So it's pretty straightforward, the shape, nothing really fancy, pretty much just like an oval shape with eyes, ears, and a beak. But I really want to make something a little bit more realistic with the Furby, so that's pretty much tonight's topic. Hey, doing great, Song. Thank you. ¿Qué onda, Gol? ¿Cómo estás? Qué gusto verte por acá, bro. Vamos a ver. Voy a dividir el Furby en diferentes secciones. Una sección va a ser nada más el rostro, la parte del pico y los ojos. Y otra sección va a ser el cuerpo, etc. So, for the Furby, it's nothing really that complicated, especially with the shape of the body. So, what I'm going to do is use different subtools for different parts. For example, this one is just gonna be the face. And start adding a sphere to use as the eyes. Split hidden. Y a esto vamos a ponerle de una vez un material negro con toy plastic or maybe different material. So I have something interesting for the eyes. This is just a placeholder material, but I just want to have something for the eyes. Son los extra, aquí disfrutando con un café y aprendiendo. Ah, muchas gracias, bro. ¿Te vas a aventar alguna escultura también a la par? Y let's use another sphere to create the peak. This is gonna be another subtool. Para esto estaba usando de referencia otros picos de pájaros. Entonces va a ser bastante útil. La idea es que tenga como esos picos más agresivos. Como de depredador. No hay nada más creepy que un Furby. So I'm just using pretty basic shapes to create the main parts of the Furby, like the eyes, the beak, stuff like that. And let's expand this section because we are going to have our nostrils right here. So it's like a weird combination between a mammal and a bird. So this is gonna be interesting. Tiene la mirada de insecto. Lucas de Spider. Ah, ya no he visto si han sacado más episodios. Me latió un buen. Aparte, me gustó muy que creo que creció bastante ese proyecto de Lucas de Spider. Sí, creo que cuando lo tiene los ojos sin subdividir, así, parece como de insecto. Y ya con un material diferente, ayuda. Voy a sacar un poco de forma así. Ahorita me voy a enfocar en que tenga la anatomía un poquito más de pájaro. Y ya después lo modificamos para que se vea más como un Furby. So I'm gonna duplicate this one. That way we can get the same peak without doing that much. And uh, can you tell me what geometry HD is? Pretty much when you already have, like, for example, a subdivided geometry, let's say around 10 million polygons, something like that. It's really high poly, but you still need more detail, like in a very specific area. For example, let's say you're creating like a creature, and that creature has like a lot of detail in the entire body, but there's gonna be like this shot from the eyes, a very intense close-up from the eyes, for the eyes, no, of the eyes. So you need more resolution there, more polygons so you can create the wrinkles and the pores, but with more resolution. So Geometry HD, it's a way to subdivide, but in a very specific area of the model. So you're not adding polygons to everything on the geometry. For example, if I were to add Geometry HD to the head, instead of just subdividing everything, I could just select, for example, the eye and then add Geometry HD to just the eye, so I have more resolution there and I can achieve more detail. So that's pretty much what Geometry HD is. I've have never used Geometry HD. Um, it's quite heavy to use. It gets like the geometry very heavy, but so far I haven't been in the necessity of using that one. Auto group. Algo así. Y con esto ya tenemos la cabeza un poco más definida. Tenemos ya el pico. Y creo que voy a trabajar ahora en las orejas. Entonces esta sección. Igual voy a ponerle un placeholder del cuerpo. Sí. Split hidden. Entonces tenemos esto, que va a ser el resto del cuerpo. So right now I'm doing like a featherless or hairless Furby. The idea is to have like at least the main shapes, and then I'm gonna start adding resolution for the fur and stuff like that. Maybe it's way too low poly, so I'm gonna remove a couple of subdivisions. And they don't have wings or hands or anything like that, so it's gonna be useful. Gonna make everything easier. La idea es que como tiene todo cubierto de plumas o cabello, no sé, creo que depende del Furby. Hay muchas cosas que no se notan, entonces no sé si tienen cola. Do Furbies have tail? I'm not sure about that one. So right now I'm gonna leave it like that. Now let's create the ears. Hey, moments to treasure. Good morning. What time is it there in India? Split hidden, and I'm gonna use a move brush just to create the main shapes. No estoy tan seguro de qué tipo de oreja deberían de tener, pero vamos a ver. Ah, feather tail. Oh, then I need to add one. Thank you, moments. I wasn't really sure because all the images I've seen from Furbies are from the front. And I never had one, so I wasn't really sure about the tail, but thank you. Have to add one. Which right now I'm just using primitives to create like the main shapes and the proportions. This is by no end like the final design of the ears or the tail or anything like that. I just want to have something that resembles a Furby. And we haven't saved, so right now it's a really good idea to save the project. And Furby. I want to learn 3D. Oh, well, it's pretty easy and it's pretty fun. So you're definitely on the right channel. If you want to start learning ZBrush, there's a ton of different artists streaming every day here in the Pixologic channel. And if you have any questions and I know the answer, I'll be happy to help you with that. Though I'm not an expert, but I'll give it my best shot. So we have the ears. Nothing really crazy going on with the ears. Very basic. Realmente donde quiero más enfocarme es en la cara. Vamos a ver algo así. Y tienen aquí como un detalle, lo que les da como su emblema o algo así. Entonces, esto va a ser como algún tipo de cresta. Quizás podría juntar más los ojos. Maybe bigger eyes. And some legs, because although we can't see the legs because of the fur, I still want to have like the shape of the legs. It reminds me of those images like of featherless owls, which is actually a pretty good reference for this. I think I should add a Furby to my references. A has a cover. Hello from Jamaica. What time is it there? Let me download a picture of a Furby. Denme nada más un segundo en lo que descargo algún Furby. Está. Y referencias. Está el Daruma que habíamos hecho hace un par de streamings, pero lo vamos a cambiar por un. No se ve. It's not really a PNG. I hate when that happens, that you find a PNG image, but it's not really a PNG and doesn't have any transparency. That's really annoying. Let's see this one. Oh, it's not a PNG either. Let me find another one, because that looks super horrible. No, este es un JPG. Donde hay un maldito... A ver si este funciona. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Hate this happens. (10:21 p.m.) Oh well, it's not. We're actually in the same time zone, so it's not really that different from mine here in Mexico. Cover. So never mind about the image of the Furby. I'm just losing time with this. Everyone knows what a Furby is, so won't lose any more time with finding PNGs with transparency. Para los ojos, igual y recomendaría poner un color rojo y ahora un color blanco. Y le ponemos un color, vamos a ver, con unos ojos cafés. Igual no es final, pero ayuda a vender la ilusión de que está mucho más definido el personaje. So I'm just using Polypaint just to create more interesting set of eyes, something that fits more of with a Furby, you know, those human-like eyes. Now I need more resolution right now because I have the body and the head and part of the legs, So I need to add more resolution to the face. And I'm actually gonna merge the ears. No, the ears I'm gonna leave them as they are right now. How good is the career for a ZBrush artist? It's really good. I mean, depends completely on how much you invest, time-wise. So I know like a lot. How to say this? There's a lot of ways where you can actually apply your knowledge of ZBrush. So there's a lot of work because of that. So you can either work on animation, VFX, or not VFX, doing modeling for VFX or doing modeling for games. You can either do only the sculpting, that could be just for 3D printing, and from 3D printing, it could be toys, collectibles, um, jewelry, medical stuff. I mean, there's like a ton of things you can actually do with the software. You can either be also a concept artist, just doing like the sculptures and then doing some quick render and then doing like a paint over. So there's like a ton of different ways you can win money using ZBrush. So I'm going to use Remesh by Dynamesh, set projection to 0. ZBrush and any other 3D software. Um, Kendall Lester, follow el 3D. Es para el Lester, su furry. Digo, para el Lester, para el Irra. Es su sorpresa para ahora que lo acepten en el proyecto ese. Hey, Peter's Animation, how are you doing? So now let me see some of the references I have. So I have some very weird bird eyes. So I'm gonna be trying to do something like that. Voy a crear esta sección primero y voy a ponerle un par de párpados por separado, porque los párpados sí me gustaría que fueran ahorita un mesh aparte que pueda ir modificando. So I'm just using clay buildup to create the main shapes like that very quickly. And since we are still working with a very low resolution mesh, I don't actually mind using the smooth brush to change anything because right now it's more of a sketch than a real sculpture. And the meat that covers the beak, something I have to work on. Realmente es un personaje o una criatura bastante sencilla porque la mayor parte está cubierta de pelo. Let's change the material. Um, so I'm going to treat him as if the hair is gonna be simulated. So not like sculpted hair for 3D printing, say, for example. But having said that, I'm also gonna do a very quick mesh for the hair, just to have the main idea on how I want the hair to look for the grooming. Algo así. Y quiero poner un par de párpados, entonces for the eyelids, I'm actually gonna duplicate this one and remove the paint. Let's use trim curve around here. Oh, I have subdivision levels, so I have to get rid of them. Entonces para crear los párpados y listo. De esta forma ya tengo los párpados. Los Furbys tienen como esta mirada como que tienen sueño todo el tiempo. Hey Chris, ¿cómo hice esos ojos? ¿Fue Polypaint? Ahorita te muestro si quieres. Si te refieres a la parte del Polypaint, a la parte de la textura. Nada más deja acomodo los párpados. Para los párpados lo que hice fue duplicar la geometría. Y después, por ejemplo, para el párpado inferior, voy a duplicarlo de nuevo y rotarlo. 180 grados. Y tenemos los párpados inferiores. So I'm pretty much using the same mesh for the eyelids. And I really want to have like the eyelids a little bit more covered by the flesh here. So now I can actually move this one freely. Maybe use clay buildup just to have a little bit more volume there. Hey Joe! There is no schedule in Pixologic. Luckily you can catch with your stream. Hey, thanks! Yeah, I'm not sure if they have like the usual schedule, like the calendar on the ZBrush Live website. But usually it's like, I mean, with at least with my streamings, it's usually on Thursdays, so there's always a streaming on my side on Thursdays, even if it's not here in the Pixologic channel or in my personal Twitch. I'll be doing any streaming on Thursdays around this time, 8 p.m. Los Angeles. So I'm actually gonna make a little bit bigger. Sí, para los ojos, Chris mencionaba que te refieres a la pintura, ¿no? Entonces, vamos a utilizar una esfera por aquí. Hate when this happens. So make it pretty much 3D. Voy a ponerle un color rojo de base. Entonces le pongo un fill object que encuentro sin color, fill object. Y después voy a poner el material. Pueden utilizar, por ejemplo, toy plastic, que es de los que ya vienen por default en ZBrush. So I'm actually gonna I'm gonna show how I did the eyes, at least the poly paint. So just a simple sphere with a red color and toy plastic material, and select mRGB fill object. That way we have not only the color but the material assigned to the mesh. Y ahora lo que voy a hacer es cambiar a RGB para pintar. Voy a agarrar un color blanco. Aquí depende de lo que quieras hacer. Por ejemplo, voy a subdividir un par de veces. Podría ponerle el blanco así. O podría utilizar, por ejemplo, un alfa. Este alfa de alfa 60. Y esto nos da como el look. So there's like a couple of ways we can, as I said, like for the eyes, I painted just everything red and then painted them white with the brush, but I can do the opposite where I paint everything white and then I take the alpha 60 with red and then we can get like the veins of the eyes like this. I mean, it's very rough, but you get the idea. Entonces con esto puedes conseguir como las venas de los ojos, es otra forma de hacerlo. Voy a regresar sin alfa, blanco, y entonces voy a abrir un poquito de espacio. Creo la base, que es una base negra. Luego elijo el color, por ejemplo puede ser verde. Tiene que quedar como ese marcado, ese límite entre lo negro y lo verde, sin tocar lo blanco. Es decir, lo verde nunca toca lo blanco, tiene como un límite. So I'm just showing again how I did the polypaint for the eye. I create the black, let's say the black base, and on top of the black I add a different color. I try not to have the color touch the white area, because we need like that rim, black rim around the eyes. Now I could go with a darker green color, or I use black because it's easier for me. So I just start painting the top a little darker. Entonces lo que hago es seleccionar otra vez negro y empezar a pintar solo la parte de arriba un poquito más oscura. Puedes utilizar un color verde más oscuro o yo utilizo negro. Y el último toque es hacer el centro súper negro y redondo. And the last touch is just creating a perfect, very black circle on the middle, and that's pretty much it. That's a very quick eye. Parece Yoda. Sí, tiene como ese look. Así son los Furbys, tiene como ese look de Yoda. Que no he encontrado una imagen de un Furby en PNG, me choca cuando pasa eso. Todas las que descargo son JPGs, fingiendo ser PNGs. Give me a second, I'm trying to find another Furby image. Let's see if this one actually works. Oh, yep, it works. So that's what I'm trying to achieve, my own Furby. She's really creepy. No, ¿de qué, Chris? Sí, el material del ojo utilizo el que se llama Toy Plastic. Ese tiene como ese brillito que le da el look más como de ojo. No hay de qué, Exlieser. Regresemos al Furby. Y entonces hay que hacer un poco más exagerada el arco que tiene aquí. Es inflate. Entonces ya con esto tenemos la base. Voy a seguir creando la parte como anatómica de la carne del Furby. Dejemos con un Furby. So they're meant to be like more fat looking animals. Con esto estoy haciendo clay build-up para ir sacando como... De nuevo, todo esto va a estar cubierto de pelo, pero me gusta trabajar un poquito la anatomía para que al momento de poner el pelo sea mucho más sencillo. Y esto es como una cresta que tiene en la parte de arriba. So my playlist is supposed to be like horror music. I don't think it fits the playlist. Y puedo guardarlo. Y la idea fue porque la semana pasada vi la película de Mitchells vs. The Machines o vs. Machines, no me acuerdo muy bien cómo se llama. Pero la idea es que salen los Furbys y no me acordaba lo creepy que son por sí solos. Entonces decidí hacer una versión un poquito más realista. So you can actually merge the ears with the rest of the head. Creo que lo voy a hacer más adelante. Creo que primero voy a definir un poquito más las orejas. So I'm not sure if the ears are supposed to be like the ears of a very specific animal. Just going with the design. ¿Qué es lo malo? Como no sé exactamente qué animal se supone que debería de ser, voy a improvisar un poquito el diseño de la oreja. Quizás sí dejarlo entre medio humano, medio animal. Let me change that song because it's just door creaking. Algo así. Es como un poquito una combinación entre oído humano y animal. Lo cual lo hace más creepy, yo creo. Que tenga como rasgos humanos. Hey, Carlos and Q. ¿Qué onda? ¿Cómo estás? You just want to see how it looks. For example, right now, this eyelid, it's very, very far away from the eyeball. So I'm gonna push it back. There we go. Now it's a little bit more realistic. A little bit, just maybe also doing this. I don't want to have a lot of distance between the eyeball and the eyelid. So let's take back the color. Our little Furby. Hey, thank you, Saucy TV. So they don't have hands, I'm guessing. So, which is creepy. So I'm just going to improvise the anatomy of the Furby. Supongo que como solo depende de sus piernas, pues habrá que ponerle unas piernas poderosas. Y me mencionaban hace rato este Moments que sí lleva una cola, entonces there, that's the base of his tail. I had a Furby as a kid, so I think this is so cool. Ah, thank you. I never had one. I never wanted one, but I had a cousin that has like a. We're not sure if he still have them. Maybe had. Yeah, I don't think he still have like his collection of Furbies, but he used to have like a not really a big collection, but several Furbies of different colors. Some of them they were like broken; they weren't like working anymore, so that made them a little bit more creepy because they had like one eye kind of closed and the other one open. Very fond and creepy memories of those Furbies. Mm, ya que tengo esto, creo que voy a poner. Vamos a hacer las patas con scissors. So I'm gonna use scissors to create the feet. Which are pretty easy. It's like some bird feet. Estoy pensando que igual podría crear nada más un dedo y después ese duplicarlo. Pero ya lo voy a dejarlo así. Try to get this with the same size. And this is the base of the feet. Now I have to go to tip skin. Entonces con esto con scissors básicamente crear muy rápido las patas. La densidad la pongo en 1, Dynamic le pongo Resolution en 0. Y quizás de algo así. I think this is good enough. So make polymesh 3D. And let's insert our new feet right around here. Now I want to start working on the anatomy a little bit more. So I'm using smooth. Simulator just to add a couple of loops here, here. Con Simulator pongo unos loops que siento que me faltaban para meterle más definición a los dedos. Y voy a usar Inflate en las puntas. Y voy a hacer lo mismo en la parte de atrás. Ups. Sin simetría. Ahorita está muy alto el Furby. Tengo que ahorita checar proporciones. Porque aunque se ve más natural esto, tampoco quiero que se vea súper anatómicamente correcto. Creo que antes que nada se vea como un furry, como un Furby, y después ya como algo anatómico. So I'm not entirely sure about the height of the Furby. So I'm gonna make a very quick test just by going to create a new mesh. Insert a sphere, which is gonna be like the fur. Yep. So let me see. So as I said, the fur is gonna be simulated, but I want to see if it's working right now. So I'm going to create like a fake fur. La idea es solo duplicarlo y ver qué tanto afecta mi geometría. Ya con el fur encima, creo que se va a ver mucho más como un Furby. Algo así. So it makes sense. Let me deactivate transparency. I mean, it looks like a Furby right now with all the fur. But the legs are too long, which, I mean, makes sense to have them like this. But I'm thinking that to have the design a little bit more close to the original Furbies, I can have like the bird sitting down like this. Well, kinda like this. Como tiene las patas ahorita, sí parece un Furby, pero siento que... Déjame Mirror World. Bueno, pues tiene sentido que tengan las patas así. Entonces lo que voy a hacer es trabajarlas de este sentido, pero voy a ponerlo sentado al final. And now I can actually play with this. I mean, he looks disgusting. Now the beak, need to work on this one. I don't have any references for how it looks like the mouth of a bird. Dejemos con las referencias. Estoy viendo referencias de picos abiertos, entonces voy a guardar esto. Y Remesh by Dynamesh de nuevo. Projection es 0. Y oops, I forgot that I didn't have any resolution, any subdivisions here. It's all dynamic subdivision, so let me subdivide a couple of times. Delete lower. Y ahora sí. Remesh by Dynamesh. Creo que con esto es suficiente. No es ni muy high poly ni muy low poly. Aceptar. La idea es algo así. Solo hay darle un poco más de volumen. Sí. Puedo hacer el interior de la boca de una vez, entonces son como súper raros los interiores de la boca de los pájaros. Tienen como la lengua y luego un agujero. Pretty weird. Something like this. They need a tongue. And on top of the tongue they have like this very big hole. Hey, thank you. ¿Qué onda, Oban? Bien, ¿y tú? ¿Qué tan difícil es entrar en la industria creativa? No es tan difícil. Requiere pues mucho, pues que le inviertas mucho a tu portafolio. Pero si es algo que te guste y que te apasiona, la verdad es que no es nada complicado. Hay muchísimos proyectos en los que puedes formar parte. Incluso si no tienes experiencia, puedes buscar proyectos de gente que no esté buscando lucrar con ellos. Por ejemplo, puede ser un corto o algo así y tratar de formar parte de ese proyecto. Y te da solo, bueno, te permite tener no solo experiencia, sino también contactos que eventualmente pues ellos también trabajan en la industria y pues de ahí puedes sacar proyectos también. Hey Kyle, yeah, I was saying that earlier. I was very inspired by that movie. How I didn't remember how Furbies were and how creepy they look. So this is my take on a Furby. I really enjoyed that movie. Now he has a more aggressive peak. So let me fix this. I don't need to have that much resolution right now on the peak, because remember that I still need to merge some stuff like the interior of the mouth, which is very, very weird on birds. And maybe this is just an idea, but I could actually add a couple of teeth inside the peak. That will make everything more creepy for sure. Yeah, I really love that movie. Not only like the very unique look that they have, but also the story was super fun. And they have a lot of really clever jokes. I mean, I had a ton of fun watching that movie. Para aquellos que no la han visto, me inspiré mucho en la de Mitchell's versus Machines. Salió en Netflix la semana pasada. Y justo en ella salen unos cuantos Furbies. Y justo por eso me inspiré en hacer los Furbies. Son como super creepy, super feos. Entonces, definitivamente de ahí viene la idea. So I need to add a little bit more resolution for the rest of the body. We just try to figure out how the anatomy works. Hmm. This is just an idea I'm having, but since everything's gonna be covered by fur, maybe I can actually add hands to the Furby, like human hands. How creepy is that? Let me find the human eye memes. So it's just a test, but like having these human arms inside all the fur. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with this one. Estaba pensando que tengo muchísimo espacio disponible porque como la mayor parte de la geometría va a estar cubierta por pelo, hay muchísimo que no se va a alcanzar a ver. Y se me hace muy raro que no tengan como alas o algo similar los Furbies. Es que estoy pensando qué tal que sí tienen manos humanoides, pero las tienen debajo de todo el fur. Todo su pelaje y plumas y así. So I guess I'm going with this really, really creepy looking Furby. I have this as different subtool for now. And I'm going to do it remesh by Dynamesh so I can merge everything. Have a little more resolution. Con esto la idea es que tenga más resolución para meter un poquito más de detalle, pero aparte pueda unir los muslos con Mesh by Dynamesh, Projection en 0, con el resto del cuerpo. Algo así. Y puedo meterle un poquito más de volumen a los músculos. De nuevo, como va a estar cubierto, pues me puedo dar la libertad de meterle más detalles. Sacaría un render como de con cabello y no sin cabello, para que se aprecie más que nada las horribles manos humanas que tiene. Yeah, this is really creepy. Maybe I can actually. I'm thinking maybe instead of having like those human arms, I could duplicate this one. Estaba pensando que en lugar de que tenga esas manos como humanas, que tuviera como de 3 a 4 dedos nada más, pero que sean garras. Algo así. Como unas manitas súper pequeñas. Ah, Enzo, tengo una pequeña sugerencia. El pico tiene toda una anatomía y no es solo incrustado, tiene desde otro ángulo, no sé, bien de frente pasa. Mm, ah, Creo que no sigo mucho lo que me quisiste decir, Enzo. ¿Te refieres a que cambiemos la anatomía del pico, del frente o algo similar? Uf, que tenga como esta boquita. Lo hace ver todavía más raro. Vamos a meterle un poquito de detalle nada más al fur. Hey, thank you, Michael. I started sculpting last day on Blender. I really like it, so I decided to continue on ZBrush, and man, this software is not friendly. Yeah, well, hey, Gabriel. Yeah, the user interface, you need to really get used to it, but it's really, really powerful what you can achieve inside ZBrush once you get over some of the user interface. Which it's not really that necessary. You can actually achieve everything by using like the main brushes, and that's pretty much it. The rest is just making your work easier and faster. But you can go all your life just using the main brushes, and that's good enough for ZBrush. Voy a subdividir esto un par de veces. Clay tubes. Tratando de seguir el flow del cabello. Obviamente no es el cabello final, pero me ayuda mucho a tener como una idea de cómo se podría ver ya con su cabello. What's the difference between normal map and displacement map? Um, hey Helmut. So usually normal map, it's just faking the crevices and bumps on a geometry. It's not really modifying the geometry, so it's all fake. Um, while displacement, it's actually modifying the geometry. So, for example, mm, with normal map, you could get like an X like this. That if I see from this angle, you'll see that it's completely flat. But if you were able to see it from a angle like this, you could see like the design and maybe some sort of like fake bump that when the light hits this area, it gives the impression that there's an X with a lot of resolution. But with displacement, you actually get something like this, where if you see like the X from this angle, you see that there's a bump actually on the geometry. So displacement modifies the geometry, bump, it's only an illusion. Again, because of that, displacement, it's how to say this? Consumes more resources to use displacement instead of normal maps. So for movies, you'll see people using displacement to get more detail on the wrinkles and bumps on the skin and horns and stuff like that. And on video games, you'll see a lot of people using normal maps, especially because it's fake and it's pretty easy just to get like the illusion of having a low poly mesh that looks like a high poly mesh. Hopefully I made myself clear. Algo así. Y vamos a usar clay tubes, pero sin simetría ya. Y estos pueden ir hacia abajo. I haven't sculpted a tail for my Furby, so I still need to work on that. Maybe I can actually subdivide once more, a couple of more times. I have a million polygons and then I'm going to smooth. Y voy a usar dem standard para crear el efecto de fur. A ver si tengo la de slash. Creo que no la tengo. Ah, pero tengo orb grabs. Bueno, voy a dejarlo con dem standard para utilizar brochas que están por default. Ah, you're welcome, Helmut. Glad I was able to explain myself. Algo así. Que de nuevo la idea es solo tener un placeholder para cómo se va a ver el grooming después. Y para que se entienda mucho más sencillo que es un Furby. Now this is gonna take a lot of time, so I'm not going to sculpt every single strand of hair. But it's super helpful to get like the idea of how the grooming eventually will look. The beginning of that song reminds me of like the song Mr. Crowley. I really wish I could actually play my own music during streamings, but it's a shame. Entonces con esto, aunque no pienso esculpir todo el cabello por todas partes, de esta forma ya tengo un poquito más definido cómo se podría ver ya cuando tenga, digamos que la simulación encima, o incluso si lo fuera a imprimir en 3D, podría utilizar este cabello para hacer la base. Y trato de romper la simetría para que no se vea igual todo el tiempo en todos los ángulos. Algo así. No es un fur perfecto, pero creo que vende la ilusión. See how it looks with occlusion? I think it actually helps to sell the hair look. Hey, Fembo Hooters. Algo así. Ah, es que estoy metiendo ya muchísimo detalle. No quiero llegar a ese punto en el que empieza a esculpir todas las strands del cabello. So right now with this one, what we have is something that looks kinda like a fur, but it's not entirely detailed. Um, you could watch this. How did you manage to light it right? Oh, you mean like the getting like this material in the eye that looks like an eyeball and follows like the light this way? And for this one, I'm just using toy plastic, which is a default material you can find here around here. Toy plastic. So this one has like a very shiny look to it. I just assigned the material to the eye, and that's pretty much it. Actually, during the streaming, I show how I paint the eye, so it has like a more realistic look to it, although it's not like how to say this, not really realistic, but it gives the illusion of having like this reflection underneath, because since the eye it's supposed to be like concave right here, oops, like let's say something like this, um, the light is it's hitting right in this area. So this is supposed to be lighter than this area, because in this section of the eye you might get a little shadow. So that's why by painting this section a little darker will give you like the illusion that the eye is a little bit more detailed than it really is, because it's just a sphere. But this gives you really that concave look to the eye, and it really helps to sell the illusion of having more detail that I really actually have. I wish I have this creepy Furby in my desk. I don't know, it's rather creepy and unsettling. I mean, the original Furbies are really creepy, to be honest. Let me make the Furby a little more fluffy. Reminds me of the Star Wars boards, like that bird, big creatures. We can always hide the fur and have like a very creepy looking Furby underneath. Y creo que lo último que voy a ponerle son sus uñas, como unas garras. Y digo, no, esto va a estar terminado. Igual y podré seguir en el siguiente streaming. Dedicar el siguiente streaming para meter detalles. So I'm going to add the claws. Let me first work on one. Like this. Similar, so I have a couple of edges here. Can he hold a knife? I'm certain that he's able to do that. So he can actually cut your throat while you sleep. Those horrible creatures. I was thinking in maybe giving him like those human hands. However, maybe having like bird-like looking hands fits more. Like it's like a mixture between a human and bird. So this is a claw. Pretty straightforward, nothing really fancy. It's just a capsule that I used move and smooth just to modify. Just like this. And oops, symmetry. Hey Muslim, how are you doing? Um, not sure if I said super wrong. My pronunciation was terrible. Sorry about that. With clothes like that, he doesn't need any knives. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's like some raptor hands, so he might not need any knives. who knows, maybe he just enjoys using knives. So I'm not sure if I should um, leave it like this with just 2 fingers instead of 3. Could be an option. Flying knife. Yeah. Kinda like in Call of Duty, just sending knives through the walls and going all crazy with knives. So I'm gonna scale this one and place it around here and duplicate one for each finger. Like this. Yep, it looks very, very intimidating to have something with those kind of claws. You know, like eagle talons. Maybe I'll give him a little more muscle on the arms. I mean, they're small, but they don't need to be like super weak. And they're supposed to be hidden under his fur, so maybe that's why he has like a very cute looking face and like all that fluffiness. So he can actually approach his prey with that cute look and then attack them. It reminds me of owls. Yeah, actually, you know what? In Bersoul, I was using I was using as reference some featherless owls because they look really, really weird, like aliens. I mean, owls are killing machines, so it fits. My Furby has like an owl design. Get rid of this finger, see how it looks. I think I'm gonna keep it to see how it looks with another claw. Maybe this one is gonna be really, really small. Chucky can hold a knife. Yeah, I love to see a duel between Chucky and this Furby. Let's see if he still has everything hidden under his fluffy fur. Yep. Maybe I'll do a little bit more, a little thicker gloss on the bottom. Con esto ya tengo un poquito más definido esto. Oh, Freddy's globe. Yeah, I didn't remember. Completely forgot about that one with his knives on the fingers. A hut, a privet. I used to have one of those Freddy's um, globes for Halloween. I don't know what happened to it. Maybe I'll just paint this a little darker without going through materials. I'll just paint with. Oh, well, I'm gonna use again toy plastic, so I have that shininess on the gloss. Yeah, fur versus not fur. I mean, since I already invested that much time on working on the body, I might as well show it. And I also invest some time doing like the fur, so why not showing both? Yes, I'm really digging the anatomy of the creature. It doesn't look. I mean, it looks weird, but not impossible weird. Just weird enough. So, I mean, it looks creepy. So I'm gonna make a quick render inside Keyshot, just of everything together. So I'm gonna send everything to Keyshot, maybe without the fur, or yeah, I'll send it with fur. Could be a different subtool. So let's go with merge visible. Voy a mandar esto a Keyshot. Realmente quizás sí el ojo sería lo único que no mandaría junto. Vamos a ver, por separado. Todo excepto los ojos. Así. Le damos un merge visible. Sin colorize. Necesitamos subdividir las piernas. So I wanted to send everything inside. I wanted to send everything to Keyshot, but I need to subdivide these first. So now I think everything is subdivided. I can actually merge everything except the eyes, because the eyes have polypaint and I want to save that in a different polygroup. The group, export, Furby 1. It's not really that heavy, so it's not really taking that much time. And voy a mandar todo a Keyshot. Básicamente ahorita ya le hice merge visible a todo excepto los ojos. Y los ojos los voy a mandar por separado. Les podré sacar los UVs, pero vamos a ver si lo puedo sacar así sin UV. Según yo te respeta por el vertex color. Vamos a ver, la de export. Ajá. I have a question about renders. Is any good one that uses only CPU for work with character production? To be quite honest, I'm not sure. I mean, I might be wrong in this one, but I do believe that most of the renders now you can switch between GPU and CPU. So you can either choose to work with your CPU or with your graphic card. So, for example, I use a lot Arnold because it's included inside Maya. But I used to do a lot of renders inside with V-Ray, and I do believe that both of them, or at least V-Ray, I'm certain of V-Ray, you can choose between CPU and GPU. Again, I might be wrong, but I'm not entirely sure. I think that Keyshot also has the option between CPU and GPU. But yeah, about that I'm not entirely sure. So sorry about that. So I love to hug the for yeah. He looks really fluffy. The only problem is the gloss underneath all that fluffiness. Oh no, it's not respecting the eyes. So mm, let's do a very quick unwrapping. So UV master, symmetry unwrap, and let's see if it's actually creating the poly group, the polypaint. So texture, new from Polypaint, and there's our very weird looking eyes, or at least the textures of our eyes. And I can export eye. Let me switch to Keyshot. There we go with the eye. So first I'm gonna change everything, the position, because you can actually see the floor. So I'm gonna select everything, move selection, and snap to ground. Hey Griffon, hello. Just started using ZBrush for 2 weeks. What's the best way to add geometry when an area gets too stretched out? You can either use the inflate brush. That's a very straightforward way of adding, let's say, geometry. But the one I really enjoy is clay buildup. So let me pause Keyshot and switch to ZBrush very quick so I can show you. So for example, with this one, let's say I don't have enough resolution, or not resolution enough geometry here, so I can use clay buildup. This brush, it's a very quick way of adding volume. You can see if I do this, I get like a lot of volume very quick. So you have a lot of control by using a brush, but you can actually use, let's say, inflate, and that will also add a lot of volume to the mesh. So hopefully that was useful, Gryphon. Hey, you're welcome. So, just don't have a really good GPU now. Yeah, right now all GPUs are super expensive. I haven't changed mine, which is a 1080. I would love to switch into to a newer model, but right now the prices of the GPUs are quite high. So I do believe that a lot of renders let you switch between GPU and CPU. So I don't think that will be an issue. So let me go back to Keyshot. Entonces con esto ya tenemos los materiales principales. Voy a ponerle un material básico a todo. Just a very basic material for this one. something like this. Maybe a blank material for the claws. Es un material súper sencillo, básicamente el que viene por default en ZBrush, digo en Keyshot. Vamos a ocultar temporalmente esto y seguir pegando el material. Let's change the HDRI so I have a nicer lighting scenario. I actually forgot to subdivide the arms, but I think from far away it won't be an issue. Olvidé esta uña. Creo que ya está todo lo negro. Vamos a utilizar un material de piel para esto. Oops. So I'm just using the default human skin material from Keyshot. Now let me change the translucency of the material. One claw on the leg. Oh yeah, it's the one I was missing. Thanks. So, hey, Kiwon Kim, thank you. Let me change the transparency of the material, something a little bit more. It has a nice translucency to it. Now the beak. For the beak, it's gonna be just a very plastic looking material, nothing fancy. Of course, yellow is a better option. Y básicamente con esto podemos copiar el mismo material y aplicarlo en las patas. Now, as far as the fur goes, I can actually leave it whitish. Maybe just go with occlusion and something like this. Try to find a decent color for the Furby. I mean, gray doesn't look bad. No sé por qué me recordó un poco tu Daruma. Igual y por la forma de huevo que tiene. Eso ayuda bastante a que se vea como el Furby. Digo, como el Daruma. Furby. Ok. Y este lo puedo duplicar. I'm just duplicating the mesh so I have one without the fur and one with the fur. There we go. Isn't he cute? ¿Ya viste la película de Michaels? Sí, es justo por eso me inspiré en hacer el Furby. Me gustó muy la película y cuando la estaba viendo no me acordaba lo creepy que son. Entonces, de ahí vino la inspiración. Let me just save this and we are good to go. Summer and winter variations. Yeah, right now I think I prefer the one without all that fur. It's not really that cold outside, so I guess he gets like super hot with all that fluffiness. Um, yeah, so I, I think I'm going to finish my streaming here. Thanks to everyone who came by to the streaming. I hope you enjoy it, and see you next Thursday on my Twitch channel. So you can find me up here. My YouTube channel and Twitch channel it's up here. I do streamings every Thursday, and I'm gonna continue working on this guy, but on here on the Pixologic channel. So I'm gonna continue on 2 weeks. So next week is on my personal Twitch channel. Sorry, and the other week is gonna be here in the Pixologic channel, and I'm gonna finish the Furby. Hopefully, I'll be able to finish like all the details and even do some poly paint for the skin, so it doesn't look like very like very flat with just one color. Um, See you in a week and stay safe, guys. Thanks to everyone. Thanks to everyone who came by. Hey, Joe, thank you. Have a good one. Hey, thank you, Five. Have a good night. Inver Soul. Hey, Joe, thanks. Yeah, I wasn't able to stream last week, but I'm really trying to stream on my personal channel to on a weekly basis. So yeah, thanks, man. I'm really trying to next time do it every Thursday without failing at any time. So yeah, have a good night, everyone. Take care. Hey, Chris, gracias. Nos vemos el próximo jueves. El próximo jueves es en mi canal de Twitch. Entonces aquí arriba está con mi social media, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, todo eso. Um, en 2 semanas regresamos aquí al canal de Pixologic y vamos a terminar el Furby, meterle todos los detalles de la piel y todo eso. Entonces, pues gracias a todos los que estuvieron aquí. Cuídense, nos vemos en una semana. Hey, thank you, Five. Have a good night too. Nos vemos, Gold. Descansen. Stay safe, guys.